Welcome to the Mind Palace. My name is Spywi, and I'm here to teach you how I speed up my workflow for Instagram comics. Now, a lot of this video is going to be directed specifically towards Clip Studio Paint users, and I in particular use Clip Studio Paint on the iPad Pro using an Apple Pencil. Now, the techniques or tips or what have you are sort of specific to my workflow, but I hope that you guys can take these techniques and tips and implement them in your own creative ways using your own software like Fire Alpaca, Rough Animator, what have you. So here's where we start. First off, we want to make a square canvas. So I use 1080 by 1080, or depends on what size and quality you want to output. Hit OK. I usually have it on a gray background just so it doesn't hurt my eyes. And this is specific to me, but I like to import a template for my logo. This one's a bit big here, so let me just scale that down. Doesn't have to be perfect. So this is what my base template looks like. And I usually lock this so I don't end up accidentally drawing on this. Now, the first mistake that I made while starting out with Instagram comics is that I would create separate folders by hand and draw within each folder, and then I would have to recreate the folder, or I would duplicate it from this template. But this takes so much work, and even if you have an auto action set up to create folders for you, it still takes time to create the auto action. So what do? Well, Clip Studio Paint has an animation feature, and that's actually what I use to create comics quickly. So let's delete this folder, and let's create a new animation timeline. We're going to call this one Comic 1. You can name it whatever you want. And as you can see, we have our layers set up in the timeline. So now what you want to do is create a new animation folder. You can rename it to whatever you want. I usually leave it as whatever the default name is. Now, within this folder, what you want to do is set up a subfolder. In this case, it's going to be Cell 1 or Frame 1 or however you like to say it. Within this folder is where you set up your base template. So in my case, I like to have a raster layer for the sketch. I like to have a vector layer for the line art, and then maybe a couple of raster layers beneath it for coloring if I'm feeling, a bit spicy or something. Why did I say spicy? I don't know. Anyways, we're leaving that in. There we go. Once you've created your template folder, go down into your timeline and you'll see a little button with a chain link icon on it. Click that, click on 1, hit OK, and you can see that the first folder is now linked as a keyframe at the bottom. If I were to switch over to the thumbnail size preview, you can actually see a little preview of what's there. So if I do this, you can see that it updates in real time, almost in real time. Here's where the fun happens. So as you can see, we have the first folder set up here. If I were to move over one frame and click on this little button with a plus sign, in the Layers panel, it creates another folder labeled 2 with the very same template structure that you've set up. You can keep on hitting the plus button to add more frames. Instagram generally has a limit of 10 images per post, so use however many folders you want. Now, as you see, as I scrub through the timeline, it changes where I'm selected based off of the folder. So in this case, if I click up here, I am in folder number 7, or frame 7. Now, I think most of you have already caught up by now, but this is where you can start your comic creation. So let's say I start off with a sketch. Let's turn down my stabilization, and let's say I want my first frame to be character A with his hands like this, and he is saying something here. Awesome. Frame 2. As you can see, I'm selected here. I want character B to come in and say something as well. Character A is going to just stand there looking disappointed. I don't know. Just however you want to set up your comic. As you can see, I now have all frames of my comic pretty much storyboarded out without much effort. What I tend to do next, because this is generally a rough sketch, is I take each frame and I lower the opacity, switch to my vector layer, turn up the stabilization, and then I start doing the line art. Now, of course, this is where you want to take your time and make each frame look as pretty and neat as possible. You can change stuff around. You can use the text feature to add in text, or you can use the speech bubble feature of Clip Studio Paint to add text bubbles. These came out blue. These are still blue. Oh well, you get what I'm saying. So once you've got your line art done, you can turn off the sketch layer and everything will be clean and neat and proper, and we are almost done. Now, the last step, once you've done your line art, your coloring, your text, everything, is you'll want to export your frames. But, uh-oh, I have to go to each and every single frame and export them? No. What you can do is export as an animation, specifically an image sequence. You can change all your settings here, change your canvas size, click OK, and you'll export. Now, a thing to note here is since you're only exporting the first 10 frames, when you choose image sequence, you can see over here, frame export. So you'll want to export from frame 1 to frame 10. Let's choose a place to save it. You can see that it's exported all 10 frames of our comic. And you can quick look, see each frame, and there you go. Now you can export these to Instagram or save them to your phone or however you want to post them. So, hopefully you guys learned something new. If you actually use this technique for yourself, let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys feel like there is an easier way or you guys have different methods, I am 100% open to learning and reviewing and just seeing how other people approach animation. But for my purposes, this actually goes by pretty quickly for me. I generally am able to export a comic a day if I'm actually focusing. And because it's just comics and not animation, I'm able to do maybe multiple comics per day and schedule them out in advance using a scheduling app like Later or Hootsuite or TweetDeck. So if you guys would like to follow along with more tutorials in the future, let me know what topics I should cover in the future. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please check out my Instagram for some of the comics that I've made, or check out the other videos on my channel for animations, animatics, Critical Role, Has-Been Hotel, what have you. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.